Welcome to day 5 of Lent, and today I will be addressing 10-acre farms of how my husband and I met. And I'll give you a hint, it was online. But before I tell you which platform that was on, I'm going to tell you the 3 things I'm going to be dissecting in today's video. First is how I discerned marriage and decided to set up an online profile. Secondly is how my online profile was set up. And third, how I got to know these people that were online. So before we dive in, I'm Allie Marie. This is my Catholic perspective. If you want to join us on this crazy journey of life and join this awesome community here, hit the subscribe button, hit the little church bell. I'm posting every day for Lent. Get in the groove because it's awesome. So okay, diving in. What did I do to discern marriage? About 3 years ago, I decided that I was going to give up talking to boys for Lent. And it was about a couple weeks in, maybe not even a couple weeks, maybe it was a couple days, I realized how much I valued the man's opinion. And it was from that, with discretion with my spiritual advisor, that we decided that I was going to only give up talking to guys on Fridays for that Lenten period. And this was also alongside, I had been sick not too long before that whole ordeal happened, and of giving that up for Lent. And so I had actually called a convent, and I was discerning becoming a Carmelite, and they essentially said that since I had been sick, I had a brain tumor removed, and we weren't sure if I was, what the stability of my health was going to be. Healthy now, yay, praise the Lord. But so the Carmelite convents that I called actually rejected me because they said it was an intensive lifestyle. They needed to make sure I was in tip-top shape, so they essentially said that perhaps that wasn't my calling. So from that was when I chose to do the Lenten piece, and it was from the Lenten piece that it was like, wow, I really need a man's opinion, so okay, here we go. Let's look for a suitable companion. So from there, we went online. My mom purchased me a 6-month subscription to CatholicMatch.com, which I met some great guys. That is not where my husband and I met. But I did meet some wonderful people. I talked to the guys. One of them, since I had just been sick, he kind of felt like maybe I needed to spend some more time in my recovery period before I started dating. And a lot of these people, we would talk on the phone, but not so much meet in person because they were so far away, and it just ended up not working out super great. So, I tried eHarmony, another place, didn't work out, and Match.com, another place where Alec and I did not meet. And then finally, I set up a profile on Tinder, which is not a good place for, not a great place for recommendation, but also just not a great place with a great reputation. But how my online profile was set up is imperative. So essentially, it stated, I'm a eat clean, train dirty type of girl because I sweat and work out and lift weights and do that kind of stuff. Eat clean, train dirty. It's just a saying. But, and then it was I'm a practicing Catholic. I'm not going to have sex with you. Waiting till marriage. I was very, very straightforward in what I was looking for. And there were still some guys that I met up with who hadn't read my profile. They just looked at my photo and they were like, oh yeah, because, Tinder is kind of a hookup app. For those of you who don't know, it essentially finds all the people who are within a mile radius or 2-mile radius or 5, however far out you want to set. So it's if you go to Chicago, you could download this app and find people near you. Not what I was using it for, but there were people who were in town from Chicago who thought I was, and that did not go well. But regardless of that, my husband, so this is why, guys, it's important that your profile accurately depicts who you are. Because my husband and I matched on his 24th birthday on February 17th. And when I came across his profile, it stated, I'm just looking for someone as weird as I am. And his photo up was, he looked attractive, he looked accomplished, he was wearing a button-up shirt. He looked like somebody I wanted to get to know. So I swiped right. After our first date, because I am all about online meeting, not online dating, okay? Meet your person online and then get together within 2 weeks. That was usually my cutoff. It was if we meet, I want to meet you in person within 2 weeks. Otherwise, I am deleting you from my connections and we're done. But my husband now, 3 days prior, right, Valentine's Day, his profile had stated, I'm just looking for someone to meet up with to kiss in the Qdoba line for a free burrito. And I promise you guys, if I had seen that profile, I would have swiped left. like knowing him now, obviously it was a joke, like that's just kind of his sense of humor. But that's why it's so important that your profile actually describes who you are and what you're looking for, because yeah, if I had come across his profile 5 days later, we would not have met and we would not be married now. So that's really important. And then getting to know the person, though, is just like being authentic, being real. Like, people are afraid to bring up, like, if they want kids or not, or when they'd like to get married, or anything like that in a relationship, because it's considered taboo. And then all of a sudden people are in a relationship for 6 months before they realize, oh my gosh, like, I want to have like 10 kids and you don't want any? Oh no, like, this is a problem. So talk about those types of issues on the first few dates. Like, for me, I'm just like it was very clear that I was looking for marriage. Like, my husband and I were engaged after 3 months of dating and we got married 6 months later. So I realized that ours was a little bit of an extreme case, like people get engaged after 6 months, or, but just make sure that you're on the same ground. You guys are kind of on the same timeline, and making sure, like, I made the rule that I was not going to kiss anybody unless they were my boyfriend. Because it's very easy, like in the movies and everything else, to kind of make it this thing. It's like a thing grows on your foot, as Jason Everett says. Like, you want to make sure that what you are physically investing yourself into is actually something that is going somewhere, because it avoids heartache, it avoids everything in between of like the temptation piece of going too far before it's time, and just balancing that. So allowing the physical side to just kind of go on the back burner. Like, I mean, yeah, when I first saw my husband, I was not expecting to see someone 6'1". Like, I had gone on a date with somebody who was maybe a little bit shorter than me, which God love everybody, okay? Like, but I do like taller guys. All the guys in my family are tall, so I'm sorry if that's offensive, but I don't mean any harm. But I wasn't expecting to see someone like with his stature and his build. Like, he was just so attractive to me when I first saw him, and it was like, wow, this is somebody I really want to get to know more. And so we went to lunch, we just sat there and we talked for an hour and a half, and it was all about like getting to know each other on an actual level of like, well, what do you want out of life? Like, what are your goals? What are you hoping for? Do you want to stay in Kalamazoo? Do you want to move? Like, and talking about all these imperative details to what it would be for a long-term relationship. So definitely discern what you're looking for before you go online or before you go on dates. Like, make sure that marriage is like what God is inclining you toward. Speak with a spiritual director to help try to discern that, and then go on your merry way. Like, just be very clear and upfront. Because, I mean, there was, I talk about this online meeting, and it's kind of funny because I met up with 4 different people in one night. People that I know kind of laugh at me because I'm a very, like, go-getter. I'm just like, okay, nope, like, this is how it's going to be. Like, I'm very, like, strategic and very matter-of-fact about a lot of things. And so, yeah, I met up with these guys, and it was just like, I met up with one, learned he worked at a pizza company, didn't have his degree, was, just not quite where I wanted the person that I was going to be with to be in life. So we went on a date, and then I left and went on another one. And I filtered through these people fairly quickly because I knew exactly what it was that I was looking for, because I had a list, because I had this ideal of what, obviously my husband is a person and he has his faults and he is not perfect on paper, but he is the most wonderful person that I ever could have asked for. He is literally the most phenomenal husband that I couldn't have even dreamed of someone as perfect as he is for me. Even though I get upset, like I've always said, I need to be with somebody who can tell me no and stick to it. And trust me, he can. So that's good. But yes, so that's how my husband and I met, and a brief synopsis of why I decided to get online, how we met online, and the kids at youth groups love hearing that we met on Tinder. They think that is just hilarious, and I personally do too. But it's the whole layout of the profile that I had that really honed in on, like, I wasn't getting as many of those guys that are out for the hooking up, just the ones who weren't quite smart enough to actually read profiles either, which they didn't have a chance anyway. So there you go. Well, I hope that's enjoyable for you guys. I hope you're subscribed now, and look forward to growing with all of you. You guys are awesome. Thanks, 10 Acre Farm, for your question. I love talking about my husband. I actually thought about getting him on here to do it with me, but I think I would have done most of the talking. So maybe for another video, we can get him on. If there's something you guys want to hear directly from my husband, feel free to throw down a few questions and maybe we can get him on here. So that'll be coming from you guys, though, because you guys are the best. So God bless you all. I'll see you tomorrow for Lent Day 6. God bless.